Minister directly to the Lord, and the idea is servant. And so we see that Mark, what was Mark's position in the apostles when they went on missionary journeys? What did he do? What? He was a helper. Why do you think that Mark was convinced that that ought to be the way a Christian ought to live? What? Well, that's what he was. That's what Jesus was to him. And he said, I want to be like Jesus. You know what Jesus did? Jesus served. And if I'm going to be like Jesus, the only thing I want to do is serve. So Mark had this perspective about Jesus. My friend, his perspective will help you in a profound way. Okay, so for even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto. So who is the Son of Man?
Jesus.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Does a king serve, or is a king served?
Served.
He is served. In other words, service happens for the king. All right? So what's Mark's perspective of Jesus? He's a servant. He's going to remember Jesus washing his feet and telling Peter, if you don't let me do this, you don't have any part of me. He remembers Jesus taking care of his physical needs on a day-to-day basis, and he sees this as ministry. In other words, Mark sees service as the greatest thing, and his perspective of Jesus is Son of Man. Why would he present Jesus as a Son of Man?
Because he humbled himself.
A very human thing is humility or service. All right. The fact that Jesus became a man showed profound humility because he's King of Kings. So here he has somebody. Mark is not looking at Jesus and saying, well, he's not a king. What is profound to Mark is that Jesus is the Son of God. By rights, he is God, and he serves individuals who ought to be serving him. Friend, do you serve because individuals are deserving? Or do you serve because that's what Jesus did? Do you serve, do you find a place of service because, boy, I'm going to tell you something. Think about this for a second. Do you go to church and say, well, find a place where where there's real need, and I'll do something? Or you say, I just want to serve the Lord, I don't care if they need it or not. I know all kind of Christians, they'll give when you can present to them a really needy ministry or something really important that they can give to. And I want to tell you something, the way Jesus served wasn't that way. And what Mark saw about Jesus was they were servants. That's just what they did. Of course, there wasn't any recognition in it. There was no plaque that was put on the wall when Mark went on the missionary journeys with Paul and Paul and Barnabas. I said it all backward, didn't I? Anyway, you know what I mean. There was nothing. He got a little blip in the scripture, and most of it was John Mark quit. What about the time on the whole journey to Phrygia and Pamphylia when he served faithfully? And nobody thanked him for it. And they still weren't thanking him, so he left so they'd know what he did. Friend, I want to say to you that serving is not about receiving recognition. Serving is about giving recognition. And the Scripture says in Mark chapter 10 and verse 45, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and gave his life a ransom for many. He was the one who was deserving of service, and yet he served, and he did it not so that he could receive the due recognition that he deserved, but so that many could be ransomed. Your purpose of service ought to be so that people can be served. There's nothing in service that gives the servant the glory. A servant never gets glory. Never does. He gets to serve his master, but service is about the other and not about you. And my question is, if you're bothered by how your service is given or how your service is received, what's your motive? You ever done something for somebody and you realize, they don't even know what I did? These people don't even know that I have to get here at 7:45 in the morning and clean every second until they walk in the door. And I'm busy and I barely get things done. And I have to get up at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning just to drive here. And I have to, and they don't even know it. They don't even know what I do. Who cares? Right? Who cares? You know what, if Pastor, he wouldn't be pushing me to go on door-to-door soul winning if he knew how much work I do just We serve, why? Because that's what Jesus did. And it's not about recognition. And it's not about, autographing the bathroom floor when you index it. I've thought about doing that. I'm the one who indexes the bathroom floor, except for this morning my wife did it. But I'm going to carve my initials in it when Ryan was here. Hence, no smears. Come on, guys. Why do we serve the Lord? What do you have to do service? Okay, so do you understand this verse? Okay, so the Son of Man came not to, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto. What's being ministered? Jesus didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. That's what the Scripture says, and it says it this way. Let's say it together. For even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. Okay. So, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. Friend, did Jesus come to be ministered to?
No.
No. What did he come for? To minister. And what did he do to show it? Gave his life a ransom for many. Jesus didn't come to rule. That's the verse. That's the verse. How many of you know the verse just from that? And all my babbling. Come on, Mrs. Price. You know this verse.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say it. He was trying to
be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom.
All right, Brother Joel.
For the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Okay.
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Okay. Over this side. Anybody ready? Yes,
For
Brother.
even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Yes, sir. Okay. Who else? Christine.
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
All right. Jen.
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Lori.
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister to and give himself a ransom for many.
Good.
And there's some.
Good enough. Good enough. Charity, you know it.
Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Susan.
Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
All right. Let's get some volunteers. Let's all say it together then. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto. Or for even the Son of Man came not to be ministered. Okay. I know it. Let me say it. Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. All right. Okay, so let's say it together. Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. Okay, I don't remember who hasn't said. I know Tony hasn't. Go ahead, Tony.
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
What's the verse? What's the reference?
To Mark 10:30, what was it, 5?
45.
45.
Do you guys get the impression that Mark was impressed with Jesus' ministry? And it was astounding to him. It was something that, Jesus, even Jesus, didn't come to be ministered unto, but to minister. And to give his life a ransom for many. Even Jesus. Who else hasn't said it? Alex?
Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
Dylan?
Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and give his life a ransom for many.
We're over on time already. We haven't got our verse done. Ready?
Mark 10 verse 45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and give his life a ransom for many.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah! All right, Kip.
I have to be.
Not to be ministered unto, but to minister and give his life a ransom for many. Mark 10:45.
Kent?
For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life.